Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. Today I'm here to do an all signs collective reading for the week of March 17th through the 23rd. It's a pretty significant week this week. We're still in eclipse season. How is eclipse season going for everyone? Easy, smooth? Are you feeling the winds of change? There's a lot going on, astrologically speaking, that is. And also the influence of this is going to reverberate out for a while. I think we all felt it coming in. It's going to be a while before, we'll say, all the chips fall as they may. This week on March 20th, we have a very significant date, which coincides with 3 actual events. First, we're moving into the sign of Aries. Happy birthday, Aries. And I want to explain, too, why I always begin. Every tarot reader has their own methodology. And because fire is the first element, I always begin with fire because there's a physicality to fire. It is our motivation, it's our passion, it's our inspiration, it's our vision, it's our desires. And so we need that. It is the impetus for all change. So this week you could feel a significant shift towards the motivation to make some changes happen in your life or initiate actions that create more for yourself, whatever that is. So I don't start off with the intellectual side at all. I really think that it is our fire, it's our desires that motivate our lives. So beyond that, we have the start of the astrological new year with this date, which we now have gone through the procession of every zodiac sign this past year. It's the start of the astrological new year, so happy new year for that. We celebrate it many times. So this is the final celebration. And it's a fresh start. We get to circle around the sun through each of the 12 zodiac, starting on the 20th. So think of it as a fresh new beginning. We've had, if you didn't feel like you had a fresh new beginning on New Year's Day or on the Chinese New Year, let it be this time, right? Third time's a charm. That we really make the significant changes in your life with new ideas and new motivations to make them happen. There will be new opportunities coming in too as a result of this shift. And the third significant, see the 3 and the 3 already? We have the spring equinox, the vernal equinox, where light equals the day of light equals the night of dark. So it's equal. So this will initiate a sort of balance that you could be feeling this week. You're going to feel a push in the fire energy. You're going to feel this balanced energy coming in with the spring equinox. And whenever we feel this energy coming in, equinox is a time where the energy grid of the planet actually harmonizes and raises. So this is an opportunity to really refresh, reboot any kind of holistic program or initiation or change in your lifestyle routine. Okay, body, mind, spirit. So look at everything that you're doing, thinking, operating with fresh eyes this week. This is the time to jot down new ideas, implement them, take a plan of action, and make it happen, all right? Also, one thing that I want to leave you with, just with the astrological influence, is that with the Venus and the Mercury aspects in retrograde still, we're going to be under this influence for a little while to come. We just went into Mercury in retrograde. So just make sure you're very mindful of the words that you're putting out there and the thoughts that you're thinking. Especially with the Venus in retrograde, I think we have an opportunity to look back at the past and understand why we said what we said, why we did what we did, to make peace with that, but also allow that reckoning or revisitation to bring into your awareness the patterns, the dynamics that have shaped your most significant relationships, and what you need to do, not what other people need to do, but what you need to do. The promises you make to yourself to deepen the love and connectivity to the people that matter the most to you. I think that'll be really prevalent in the coming weeks. And what fresh eyes do you need to look at the relationship with? And what words or actions do you need to take or not take in order to bring more balance? So all of these, I feel like we're in this really beautiful, energetic stream this week to actualize and catalyze these energies for our greater good that will serve our highest growth. So as we move on from the past, we accept it, we embrace the present, and we keep moving forward. All right. So let's now move into, last week I was so floored by Brianna Wiest, and I had mentioned a book. It came, and I love it because they're like little letters that if you were giving a manual, this could be a really good graduation gift for anyone who has, or any young person in your life that they're going through a hard time. This book is just this, I wish I had this book when I was younger, because it's guidance around the things that we grapple with in life. So I'm going to read a chat. It's kind of like just these little snippets, these little chapters, couple pages, but I found one that was short, and I want to read it to you. And it's about, I think because a lot of us, we've been going through missed opportunities, false starts, things moving forward, but a slowdown of everything. And that's another thing about Mercury in retrograde. Things slow down. This is when we need to be taking better care of ourselves. We need to be more mindful of our movement through the world and just exercise more care for ourselves and other people. I think I heard Kevin Costner the other day, and he said we need to be more careful with everyone right now. Just more careful in general, because it matters to be compassionate souls, to be understanding, and to be kind. All right, so read this when you're doing everything right, but nothing is coming together. Sometimes we don't get what we want because we are meant for things far greater than we'd ever let ourselves believe. Sometimes we fail, not because we're lost or inept or in some other way lacking, but because some deeper knowing inside of us is beginning to take hold, and some greater vision is beginning to take shape. And instead of a life we can tolerate, we begin moving toward one we can't get enough of. Instead of a consolation prize, we start preparing for the victory lap. Instead of believing that we are not enough because we could not thrive within what was not meant for us, we begin to realize that we are not meant to excel at a life that is not designed to make the most of who we are, who we most essentially are, what we most fundamentally love, what we are most inherently born to be. This reads far better than I can enunciate. You are not behind for the ways in which life did not turn out the way you once wanted it to. The gap between where you are and where you most want to be will be filled by the person you become. And that is why we have dreams in the first place. Not so that we might arrive somewhere that is perfect, but so that we will press up against the bounds that we think limit us and move beyond them. To see with crystalline clarity that we are limitless beyond even our own comprehension. That we are designed with the potential to fulfill what quietly inspires us, what motivates us, what interests us, what enlivens us, what awakens us in every sense. We don't only have to grow, we also have to learn. We have to confront our shadows and our demons. We have to know the ways in which we are inclined to self-destruct. We have to understand what we do not want life to be before we can grasp what we do. Becoming the whole of who we are is not a matter of solely embodying the beautiful things in our hearts, but also befriending the hard ones. We reside always at the edge of everything, all of the past behind us, and all of the potential in front, and all of the doorways around. The humbling, the losing, the stopping, the releasing, the slowing, and the stillness is just trying to give us the eyes to see. Isn't that beautiful? I love that last sentence. And then she kind of follows up with just a little poem synopsis. You do not have to instruct a flower to bloom. You do not have to tell it how to root. You do not have to wish for it to sprout. You do not have to affirm that it will continue to reach toward the sun. You do not have to fear that it will not grow. You only have to arrange the environment so that growth is the inevitable outcome. And that's what I think the universe does. It's always conspiring events, places, people, and things to help us grow the most. And I know we don't always like it, but there seems to be, in the time that I've lived, a reason for everything that we often don't see until we experience hindsight. So accept the way things are in your life at this time. It's teaching you something. Just like the flower doesn't question. It does not question. It just does. It is being. All right. So that being said, let's get into... I just love this deck. It seems to be, my BFF these days. This is the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Let's call Spirit in and let's get some readings in for the week ahead. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the collective for the week of March 17th through the 23rd. All right, let's see what's happening. What are the themes this week? What are the themes this week? And I have this, I may use it. I actually just deconstructed a 10-year-old brick and mortar business that I've had, a holistic center. I moved a lot out. This was on my desk for almost 10 years. Be kind. Be kind. Someone that was a great teacher in my life that I worked with, that I always loved dearly, gave this to me. And it is a mantra, and I try to live by it. I try to live by it the best I can. Be kind. Okay. And I may be using that. I brought it out because I may be using it. You can put the cards in and they stay. And I like that there's intention behind the cards. So I may use that today. We'll see what Spirit instructs me to do. They want me to look at this. We have the unexpected. Again, Venus in retrograde, Mercury in retrograde. This is where we get a chance to maybe have a do-over, come together with people more closely, connect more deeply, share more of ourselves and our vulnerability. Expect the unexpected. All right, let's see. Set to shuffle. Oh, I don't normally do that once we open the energy. Yeah, oh, that's why. Because the energies are still swirling around. It's a very auspicious week. I'm already getting that. It's a very auspicious week. So expect the unexpected, folks. Assessing. I like this because look at, she's lofty. She's got her whole upper half of her body. Her physicality is in a higher plane, and she's surveying and assessing the future. And it really is a matter of ideas, opportunities, taking flight. Also, this is when we slow down and we, take in the wisdom that we've gained from the past, and we release any patterns, right? It's like, take a look, survey, assess where you've been, where you're going. And that's what she's using these, I think you call it, is it a periscope? Because it's a singular, it's not binoculars. It's old school. And see how there's the dawn of a new light behind her just coming up. So it's almost like, wait for it. There's going to be more illumination with the solar eclipse. So we're in this void between now and then. And I believe the solar eclipse, I want to say it's at the end of the month, or it's in the next couple weeks. So we're in this void period where it's time for us to look at the shadows, right? But to raise our vibrations so we can get a better view. Get a better view. And allow the light to lift us higher. This is elevated consciousness. This is the growth that comes from doing the work. I like that. So, and we have number 9. No wonder. This karmic year, I'll tell you what. This year of the Hermit, I'll tell you, this is definitely a significant. I think we will all be looking back on 2025 and go, damn, what a year that was. Woo! It's definitely started off with a bang the last few months. Okay, what else do we have here? Oh, I knew it. The unexpected came out. You might feel like some things are coming full circle. We have 43 breaking down to 7. So this is taking a spiritual point of view when it comes to all of our connections. And yeah, here we are, the void, where it's time to rest deeply. With Mercury in retrograde, rest. Even though we're going to feel that fire push of taking action, I think we also need to it's the balance, right, of night and day. So just as much as we go out on the world when the light is shining, we need our deep, deep internal rest as well. So we can co-create with the universe and grow in the ways that we want and need. Wow. I think that this is a beautiful start of a fresh trip around the sun. We get to experience all the 12 zodiac again. We have a fresh new beginning, a clean slate. I've been getting that a lot for the mid-monthlies. So I love this energy. We also go from 9 to 7 to 1 to 11 and 5. So there's a lot of changes, I think, that we're all being almost like this pressure cooker, where we're experiencing like this opportunity for greater ease and upliftment, especially with the spring equinox, the vernal equinox, the energy grids of the planet raising. So we can move into a higher harmony with the planet and allow those energies to bathe us in this. It's a soft gentleness. So if there's been shadowy energies or rigidness, I feel like this week there could be kind of like they just showed me an egg cracking. And like, you know, when the yolk just kind of spreads and it just naturally flows where it goes, it's like a lot of people are breaking out of a shell of survival. And this is the week where we get to release and slow down and replenish our own energy centers so we can become alive and awakened again and co-create with the fiery energy of Aries. All right. Bring the fire. If you want something new in your life, bring the fire. All right. This feels like very balanced energy. And they're telling me to pick. We're going to pick assessing. We're going to do the top 3. The void. That's important. We must go into the void and growth. This is a very Venusian energy. The planet Venus is all about beauty, inner and outer beauty, what we want to attract. As you can see, she's rooted deeply in the earth energies. It's almost like the earth is, let me hold you. Let me bathe you in these beautiful, softer energies. Let me take care of you. Let me nurture you. And this is when we see the beginning buds, right, of the daffodils here in the Northern Hemisphere. We'll leave that there. Hope you enjoy looking at those if you like to watch. Some people just like to listen. Let's get into the tarot, shall we? Where are we going to go? I'm feeling the light seers. Let's get some tarot messages for the week ahead. Some of you might be feeling a spring in your step. If you've been hibernating, you could feel like, fresh new energy. Let's do this. Wherever you have Aries in your chart, you could be greatly influenced by that at this time. Overemphasis, right, or wherever. Look at where they're telling me to have you all look at where Aries falls in your chart, because that's going to be a significant shift in that house. All right. Ooh, 5 of Wands. So we're coming out. I feel like we're coming out of this energy of me versus you, of separation. This is also my card of the only way we can get to where we view things as a competition or there's a power struggle is when we actually believe in something that is not true, that we are all separate. Right. So there's a big shift here. 5 of Wands, 6 of Cups, especially as it relates to the past and our deepest connections. These are our soul bonds. It's also the inner child. So there might have been some an internal dust storm in our relationships as of late around what the inner child is telling you, asking of you, wanting you to see. Ooh, 3 of Cups wanted to come out, but it did not, which is friend energy. Let's see. Knight of Wands. Ooh, there's that Aries energy, the death, and the Tower. Wow. Surprised to see a strong Scorpio influence. Actually, I'm not, because Scorpio moves in tonight, Monday night, for the next couple of days, and then into Sag. So the moon has got this very death, rebirth energy the next couple of days. And because Venus is very linked to the moon energy, which I believe is our deep emotions, right? Is it not love that inspires our greatest feelings or our greatest pains? So, interestingly enough, there could be some surprising twists this week over past energies. Either they're unlikely or surprising return. So when I say this, it could literally be people coming in from the past or the energies of the past, feeling nostalgic, ruminating over the past, reviewing past conversations. But it's like this, instead of it being like I'm thinking and thinking and thinking, it's like I am getting pushed. It's like a universal force here of whatever is unfinished needs to be cleaned up. Okay, that's what it feels like. So you can transform ultimately and move forward and use your fire, your passion, your desire energies wisely. Not on, it's almost like put your energy in the right lane, right? Which if you want to move forward, it's really a matter of accepting the past, the changes that have come in the past that have led or will lead to your rebirth. There's a deep, deep transformation going on right now where we are slowing down and looking at things and how we have been. 5 of Wands is an energy of conflict, but sparring conflict. It's like when we have a dynamic with someone that we really care about and we're kind of acting out, right? It's when children sometimes have these little arguments, but deep down they really have this beautiful love for each other. Like nothing is more beautiful than kids getting into a fight, right, on the playground, but then like an hour later they're like the best of friends. So children have a way of forgiving more than adults do because we still have some scars, we have triggers. So if something hits you in a trigger in the recent past, I think that a lot of us are breaking that down this week, and it's not the same view of the view you had when it happened. Others of you, you're having these significant shifts, tower moments over the things that you need to really heal and recover from and move on from. So it's not a competition. The Spirit is saying these soul bonds aren't here as a competition, right? To one up or to keep score or to hold on to resentment. They're really a matter of they elicit our fire. They elicit our motivation and our inspiration, our desire, our passion, our action. So a lot of us are, some of you too, it has nothing to do with relational energy. It has to do with you making amazing, incredible, phenomenal changes in your life that bring about so much passion, so much fun and excitement. My Knight of Wands is, a lot of readers feel this is incoming energy coming towards you, and that's why I read it that way first. But I'm also getting a big group of you are watching this, and you're like, I'm getting it done. I'm kicking ass. I'm taking names. I'm so motivated. I'm so fired up about what I'm doing in my life right now, my vision for the future as you assess, right? And you go deep into the void. A lot of you are pulling out these incredible ideas that you want to implement and show the world who you are. That's the other energy. Show the world who you are, all right? Go deep into your bonds, learn from them, grow from them. Take those nuggets of wisdom, put it in your beautiful pocket of life called life experience, and go out and spread kindness in the world and transform. Spirit is saying it's time to transform. That's what I'm getting here. Now, I really want to, let's break down the tower. What is this tower? Is it a realization over the changes we need to make? Is it something coming crumbling down? It doesn't feel catastrophic. It feels necessary. Just like we're talking about with the life that's waiting with Brianna, Sometimes it's all about acceptance. So then we release it, yeah? This is releasing the memories of the past so we can move forward boldly in the direction of our dreams and go through this beautiful transformation. I feel like it's time to turn it up and get excited. Oh, some of us are like, that one to come out reverse. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is when we hold on to resentment. That's what it feels like. The tower is let go. Just let go. You know how freeing it is to let go? Just like I gave you the example of the kids. The past only stays in the present if we hold on to it in our mind and get it out of your body. I think it's very important to release it from the body. And you can do that in multiple ways. You can shake, you can get up, you can dance, you can do cleansing work, right? You can sage. There's so many, you can cord cut. So there's so many ways to move the energy from the mind, body, and spirit. Yeah. I feel like, there's a lot of redirection going on so people can align with their ultimate wishes and desires. This is it. And also to align with your deepest healing. Spirit is not making things easy because this tower death energy, very scorpionic, this catalyzing energy of we got to become the changes we want to see in the world. They mean it. The spirit means it. Okay. So this is when we hold on to things and out of the struggle, right? This is holding on to things that are not going to be prosperous for you moving forward and holding on to them anyway because of an old grudge or resentment. This is forgiveness. This is the week to forgive the past as best you can because the past is no longer here anymore. It's us holding on to it in our minds and in our hearts and our spirits. And there's a time and a place for healing, but healing is all about letting go. It's not about holding on. So Spirit is saying, 10 of Pentacles, they're energies that have been in our lives for a long time. It's also letting go of the aspects of self that has a me versus you mentality or has had strife and has had to take a stand. It's like we become hypervigilant, but then we don't know when to let go. There's a time and a place to enforce boundaries, but you have to keep reinforcing them and stay in this rigid place. The Spirit doesn't want that for us. It's time to soften. It's time to soften. Okay? And that's what I'm getting here. Healing softens everything. So I think this week there's going to be profound shifts and a profound healing where we actually soften to ourselves. I'm not talking about soften to other people and the situation and what happened and why it happened. And you really go inward. You accept how it made you feel. You grieve what you need to grieve, and you let go. I feel like there's a huge baggage called the past that we're being asked to release at this time so we can raise in our elevated frequencies and evolve and head towards the star energy, the Aquarius age. It's innovative, it's creative, and we don't need anything holding us down from the past. We don't. I love this because it really is truly letting go. You know how hard that is to surrender, to let go of the old when we feel like we've been wronged or someone treated us unfairly or we didn't get what we want? It's interesting. That's why I talked about why we don't get what we want sometimes. All right. Now, let's go into, I'm going to get an affirmation or two, and then we're going to, let's get some more. More. I can break unhealthy cycles and thrive and change. And that's what we're doing. Break the cycle. Break the cycle. Let go. I trust in my ability to stay calm and present in moments of conflict. And that's the goal. If you have anyone who's being confrontational with you, because we have 5 of Wands and 5 of Swords this week, okay? Which this is combative energy, where we're being tested by the universe. And what are we being tested by? Our willingness to accept what is, even with things that have been long-standing. 10 of Pentacles is the long term. And if you feel like you got to fight for something to be long-term in your life, it's not worth the fight. Things that are meant for you come with ease. And if something's returning and it's flowing, then welcome it. But if it is not flowing and it's hurting, then it's time to let go. Okay? Because Spirit wants us to align with our ultimate wishes and desires and to trust. Ultimately, what this card is about is trusting in your healing journey and trusting in your intuition. So you got to dig deep and trust and rely on your intuition this week the best you can with the things you have to let go of, whether they're old grudges. In the spirit of forgiveness, Spirit is saying you owe it to yourself to let go. Okay. I learned to celebrate myself by reflecting on how far I've come. See? That's what I'm talking about. And I trust my power to break cycles. Woo! Everybody's doing this deep inner child, like, let's look at the wounds. Let's go deep. And now I feel like there's a reason why I saw the egg being broken open. I think all of us have been impacted by a significant relationship or two where something broke down. But it allowed you to take a look at some of your own inner wounds, to recognize the ways that you need to honor yourself, and trust your intuition. Whatever situation you're negotiating at this time, trust your intuition. A lot of you following me, you are so deep, old, wise souls. You need to trust yourself more with the work you've done. We've been together now for a while, and I really do trust you to discern what's best for you at this point. I'm here to support that, okay? Let's get a few frequencies for the week. Magic! Magic is in the air, and the solar plexus. There we go. There we go. That is Aries energy, right? Moving forward, that Mars passion. Solar plexus chakra and magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. See, if you're playing small in a situation, imagine if you let that go, the greatness you could have behind that, after that, away from that. So that's the thing. If something isn't working, don't try to make it fit. I said this the other day in a reading. Don't retrofit your energy to accommodate others. You be your beautiful, badass self in your bigness, in your greatness. And you don't have to shrink for anyone. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. Let me read that again. Sorry. And this is the card number 4. So we're rebuilding new structures and new faiths, new beliefs in self. This star energy is our hope and faith. And what if we lived our lives having all the hope and faith in ourselves? Once we place it in other people, woo, place your hope and faith in you. You got you. Isn't that not what we've all been learning? You got you. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. I think that there are magical people watching this, and you might have had people around you that didn't believe in the magic. And this is that whole wicked, right? If you believe, you will elevate. But if you don't, you got to leave that mentality behind. And if people in your life want to keep that mentality, hey, peace be with you. God has blessed you. But that's not how I live my life. You feel me? I know you feel me because I'm getting goosies. All right. The frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, and our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. Yes, my dears, you know who you are, and that makes all the difference. Yes, it does. I'm making a mess here. All right, now, let's now go into some advice. Nope, they don't want me to use that deck. Y'all, I got an organizer. I'm all like officially organized. I don't know. And you may be experiencing some little upgrades in your life, even with some material objects. Like upgrade it. Upgrade that stuff. And release some clutter. Spring clean, right? Or fall clean. Fall is a washing away of the old as well. So this is the time to declutter your environment, declutter your thoughts, be ever so present. Embrace the present. It's where the magic lives. And it was just as I was talking about magic, that was the card number 4, which is your structures, your foundations, your stability. 4 of Wands is a rite of passage. We're going through a rite of passage with the vernal equinox, where it's time to come into balance, light and day, equality, net neutrality, balance. I'm hearing precision. Interesting. Weighing of the scales, fairness. So we have the 4 of Wands, the Justice, which is the card 11, and the Queen of Cups. This is self-love. This is self-nurturing. And isn't that the holy foundation of everyone's life? Without this, you will go about life just like one of my favorite poems by Stevie Smith, not waving, but drowning. You know, I was much too far out all my life and not waving, but drowning. It was about a poem about a man way out in the sea, and he's waving, and people are thinking, oh, he's waving, how cute. No, he's drowning, like I need help. So what we need, too, beyond the love we need to give ourselves, is we need the people. And it's the reason why they wanted me to talk about it. I've never talked about that poem. It's one of my favorite poems. I know it's a little dark, but it's really when those of us who hold so much in, who don't show people, like we put the brave face on, oh, I'm okay, but inside I'm hurting. This is also our people that support us, 4 of Wands. It's our support system, the people that we go through life with, that we celebrate our life with. This is what we commit to as well. This is the card of commitment, higher level commitment, beyond the Hierophant. These are the people that, you know, I want them with me. They support me. They make me feel balanced. And there's so much unconditional love. So this is the advice from Spirit. If you feel like you're in any connection where you're not waving but drowning in it, Spirit is saying love yourself enough to tell people about it, to express yourself, get the energy out, don't hold it in. This is the week where we need to move the energy, right? Aries, fire, passion, move the energy, don't stay stuck. This is also the love that we need to give ourselves all the time. That self-love, that self-nurturing, because it is our very foundation. So many messages coming in, but I get this whole need to calm, self-soothe. Our inner child, a lot of us move through life ignoring that part of self. Worrying about what other people think, doing what we think we're supposed to do, what we should do, not really getting in tune with who we are. And I think that we have an opportunity this week to come into this beautiful, balanced fairness in the structures that support us and the people that support us in this fiery energy of love. I think there's going to be whatever has broken down in your life. I think that a lot of us, it's served our growth in unexpected, unanticipated ways. And now it's time to return to love. That's what I'm getting. Return to love and forgiveness. Okay. Whether you ever talk to this individual again, forgive the past. It's the only way forward. All right. And I'm seeing it right here. Forgive the past. Because look, they've got their flowers, their bouquets. They're holding hands. They're rejoicing. They're celebrating. So I think there's a lot coming into balance this week. That Venusian, that justice energy attributed to Libra. This is equality. This is kindness. This is fairness. And this is the magic of love is always there if we reach for it. Okay. All right. Let's go into, what are we going to do next? I want to do, because it's one of my favorite decks. This is a favorite deck of mine. If you all are looking for an oracle deck, just to keep you grounded and guided, I pull an animal a day. I do it upstairs in my room. And that's kind of like my communion because I'm in love with the animal kingdom. And I've got an animal deck I pull. But I love the Keepers of the Light. Let's get a key. Yes, our Dharma unfolding. A lot of us have been getting off this heavy karmic, heavy trudging through the mud, sometimes even falling into the quicksand of some karmic lessons. But then we get back online, right? We get back on the path. So I love this Keeper of the Light. It's a very Buddhist principle of our Dharma unfolding. Dwa Kul. Remember that you are on a path. Take one step at a time to happiness. All right. And then we're going to talk about Mark Nepo and his passage for the week. Dwa Kul. When Dwa Kul appears in a reading, he reminds you that your path is unfolding as it should. Take one step at a time and remember that your only spiritual function is to be happy. You are a powerful person with many lessons under your belt and a real capacity to share your wisdom with the world. Take the time to go over what you have learned recently. Recognize the strengths it has brought you and acknowledge where you have been courageous. Dwa Kul is now working with your angel guides to help your journey unfold like a beautiful lotus flower, one petal at a time. All right. And Dharma, he helps light workers follow their Dharma, which is a Sanskrit word meaning right way of living. I love that. So I think we all know what that means intrinsically, spiritually speaking. There is the right way of living. Follow that path, all right? Follow that path. All right, let's get into Mark Nepo now and read the passage for the week. And I start every passage every Monday with the Monday's message, which is March 17th. There is a great battle raging, for my mouth not to harden and my jaws not to become like heavy doors of an iron safe, so my life may not be called pre-death. Israeli poet Yehuda Awichai. I hope I said that right. There's an ancient Greek myth that carries within it, like a message in a bottle, one of the most crucial struggles we face as living beings. It is the story of a gifted musician, Orpheus, whose lover, Eurydice, is taken by Hades, the god of the underworld. Orpheus is so grief-stricken that he travels to the land of the dead to plead with Hades to give Eurydice back. After a cold and deliberate consideration, Hades says, "You can have her. It will take you 3 days to bring her back to the land of the living. There is one condition. You must carry her, and you must not look upon her face until you reach the light. If you do, she will return to me forever." Well, now that's a hard condition. Unfortunately, unknown to Orpheus, Hades tells Eurydice the opposite. He will carry you to the land of the living, and you must look upon him before you reach the light. If you do not, you will return to me forever. Ooh, that Hades is a tricky fella. Their colossal struggle fails, and Eurydice is lost forever. The struggle for us, though, is ongoing, for there is an Orpheus in each of us that believes if I look, I will die. There is also a Eurydice in each of us that believes if I don't look, I will die. And so, the great spiritual question after to be or not to be, to be or not to be, is to look or not to look. The personal balance we arrive at determines whether we make it out of hell or not. Though it shifts throughout our lives, according to our devotions, I believe each of us is born with a natural leaning toward looking or not looking. Interesting. Are you? Do you look or not look? What person are you? Not surprisingly, I am one of those feminine seers. I believe that if I don't look, I will die. This probably has a lot to do with my calling to be a poet, so I admit my bias. For though, like staring into the sun too long, there are times we mustn't look to preserve our sight. More often, we need to look to stay alive. Like each of us, I struggle with both, to be the keeper of secrets or the discoverer of truths. Though no one can tell us how, we have to work this great battle again and again, to leave the underworld, not to harden, and to make our way back into the land of the living. Center yourself and breathe steadily. Bring to mind the stream of life decisions that have brought you this far. As you slow your breathing, try to understand which has defined your time on earth, the need to look or the need not to look. As you breathe evenly, try to feel which you need right now, to look or not to look. What will bring you more fully into the land of the living? Yeah, this is when we ponder and ruminate too much of the past. Sometimes not looking is a gift. If you're always looking, maybe it's all about the balance. Maybe there's something even further than that, right? Maybe we need both. Interesting. Well, I'm going to get one final reading. Why not? I think this will be the most decks I've ever pulled out in a reading. But I got this. It's called, oh gosh, I have the booklet. I got it on Etsy. It's an artist. I love her work. It's called Phases and Forests. And I'm going to get one final message. What is the Phases and Forests final message for the week ahead? Navigating. How are you finding your way in the current and flow of life? It is about going with the current and the flow. Look at that beautiful fish. All of you who know more about fish can tell me what that is. But isn't that beautiful? Let's see what that is. This is navigating. Navigating. And it does feel like we are navigating. Rainbow trout! Oh, of course. Oh my gosh. Now I feel pretty foolish. Rainbow trout. Sometimes there are periods in life where we are trying to find the way. You may want to head towards the shelter of the stones, the warmth of sunny waters, the cool deep streams, or the fast currents. It is important to look at some of the factors that are guiding you along the way. All right, so there's a lot that's guiding you. I think ultimately that's what this card is saying. All of these elements. Let nature be your guide, okay, this week? Turn to her. She's harmonizing with us in a very, very beautiful, magical softness. Enjoy the week, you all. Namaste. All right. Announcements. Let's see. If you're still interested in the walk with me, Mary is still taking discovery calls. We're almost at full capacity for the 3-month container happening. There might be a move up on the date just to get started. Everybody's ready to go. For those of you signed up, I cannot wait to get to know you and work with you. We're going to be together on this journey for 3 months. I'm very excited. If you're curious, I have Mary McDonald and the Cosmic Dots listed in the description box below. I'm having trouble with my words at the end of this because this Mercury in retrograde is really coming in. So just, give yourself that grace if you, Freudian slip or anything like that. Dot your I's, cross your T's kind of thing. Be careful with any paperwork this week. What else? Oh, I'm going to be finishing. Thank you for your patience. I have not gotten to the Earth signs yet for the mid-monthly. I've been very busy moving furniture, closing out a shop I've had for 10 years. So give me a little bit of grace. I'm going to finish those out over the next couple days with the mid-monthlies. And then I'm hopeful. I've been working behind the scenes on weeklies, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking each element and I'm going to be really honing in. I'm a big fan of nature, as you know, and I want to dissect and compartmentalize each element each week. So you will be seeing a grouping of your sister signs with you each week with, for instance, fire. I'll be reading Aries, Leo, and Sag together. And I believe there'll be kind of 2 different readings in one. So it'll be kind of like a mini all signs based on the element. And then there'll be supportive energies for the collective element. And anyone who's, so for instance, fire. Say for that week, you really want to be more motivated. That will apply to anyone in the watching to go to the fire collective reading for support, because I'm going to be pulling cards on supporting the body, mind, spirit, and taking action when it comes to the fire element. It'll be different for each element, obviously, because of the emphasis of that element. But it's going to be fun because I get to read for the support for the actual element, as well as group you together to help provide as much support for you weekly. So I can't wait to do that. That's going to be real fun. I'm going to try to make those every week. They'll probably run about an hour long, and they will be time stamped, so you can go straight to your, whatever it is that you want to look at, whether it's sun, moon, rising. I mean, I really look at a lot of elements when I'm following readers, and especially with that comprehensive overview for that element, it'll be really helpful for everyone, because this way we can maximize the energies for air, fire, water, and earth every week as a collective. So that kind of came through this past week. So allow those creative juices to flow, the inspiration to guide you this week. What a beautiful reading. I hope you have a wonderful start to your week. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.